Good morning to all. And today I will talk about theory of evolution in Hinduism. To understand the theory of evolution in Hinduism, we have to understand the theory of evolution in Abrahamic religion or in the Western belief, which is now written in every single textbook all over the world, and children are brainwashed with this particular philosophy, and it is dangerous for mankind, and we should know this first before we get into the Hindu view of Darwinism. So in 2001, when I joined my PhD, I started reading several research topics related to proteins in the Nature and Science journals, and I was to get surprised why two proteins have to fight, cells have to fight, and one of the proteins will win, and particular protein pathways will be active for biological property or biological phenomenon or evolution. Why there has to be I mean fighting to survive and struggle for existence? Why? Because if universe has been created and I have been selected, why should I have to fight throughout my life, or every single cell, every single protein at every single scale have to fight? And I was desperate to learn that who has conceived this idea and how scientific it is. Then I digged deeper, and then I found that Sumerians in 3000 to 3000 BC, they used to practice this kind of thing, that who are weak, kill them. And then from the Sumerians, Spartans in the Greek, they learned, and if you are not useful, kill. And that will make your clan better. So weak babies, kill them. That weak babies killing them, that 400 BC, that never changed. Even in the 1960s, in United States of America, so-called most civilized country in the world, used to kill its babies which were deformed in the operation table. So you can understand that the rooted genocide in the Western civilization was there for 5,000 years and will be there for 5,000 years. It will take new form, but it will never change. So there was a landmark judgment in the United States, where by Supreme Court of United States, where they banned from 24 different states killing of the babies in the operation table. So how this killing machine or genocide concept of theory of evolution propagated and survived. So when United Nations were created in 1919, after the First World War, they converted into a molecular genetic society. And then the idea was to provide medicine or chemicals to all over the world. And you, as Indians, you know very well how America in PL 480 in the 1960s, 1970s gave the coughing and then that kind of poisonous seeds, and they mixed it with the wheat, so that many of the Indians die. You know how Bengali genocide were carried out, which is much more dangerous than the entire Holocaust for Jews. And if you go to Shimla, you will find the place where Viceroy used to live. And then still now there is a placard that after 1870s, when 1860, I think, 1860, 70s, the nephew of Charles Darwin proposed social Darwinism. And social Darwinism was first experimented in India. 5 million people and 9 million people were killed in the southern part of India. And how those plans were executed, those are described. So so these are the kind of documents, and this is there. So even in Europe, this kind of killing were there. So struggle for existence, a struggle for survival, and all these kind of things were there, is there, and will be there. Let's get back to to the Hindu theory of evolution, you all have heard many YouTube videos describing that all the Dasavataras, the 10 avatars of Vishnu, actually reflects the theory of evolution. That's a very, very pathetic explanation created by some Hindu lovers, Western philosophers. There are many, many Western philosophers who loves Hinduism and want to promote Hinduism, but they see it with the eye of Abrahamic part. We are Brahmic civilization. We are orthogonal to Abrahamic thoughts, which is linear, which is where time is linear, past, present, future, and evolution is linear. But in Hinduism, evolution is not linear. It is not fractal. According to Samkhya, there are a set of integers or numbers and their patterns that create the universe, regulate the universe, operate the universe. And there are geometric shapes. So you will find that in the early Vedic period, there were huge geometric shape evolutions. And when we do yagna, that is fire, we put fire and then we create the yagna bedi in a particular geometric shapes. We have parikrama around the temples in a pentagon, triangle. Even now those exist. 84 crores around the temple. So these geometric shapes, morphogenesis of geometric shapes and numbers, they create, as we said earlier, they create a 50% or 6 different dimensions than non-physical reality. They are governing the universe. So 6 dimensions of Prakriti and 6 dimensions of Purusha. The duality of the two is the mother cause of evolution. So this kind of knowledge is not there in the YouTubes. Mostly this is spiritualism and absolute nonsense. This is why I have started talking about these particular things to so that it comes from the scholarly mind. Of course, Hindu scholars know this very, very well, and it is limited in the research articles and doctoral thesis. So I have gone through them, and I am bringing them together in front of you. So as you know very well, that everything is connected to everything, and they coexist. That is the foundation of Hinduism, right? So all the humans are interconnected. Whole world is one family. So Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So all the souls, they're connected by Purusha, the pattern of integers or primes, and fundamentally they are all integrated. So if they are all integrated, evolution will be collective. No particular individual can evolve by itself, which is possible in the Abrahamic theory of evolution. Why do I say Abrahamic theory and Brahmic theory of evolution? Because entire Sumer to until now, the genocide machines that is being carried out in the Western civilization, even now. So this Abrahamic way of evolution and Brahmic way of evolution. And why the genocide was carried out in the Abrahamic theory of evolution? You know that if you kill the weak, and also if they are very intelligent and to be acceptable by nature, then you kill them, massacre them, or genocide them. Then what will happen? You will be in the next in the sequence of evolution, and you will go up. So that is the kind of a foundation why killing is essential, genocide is essential in the Abrahamic theory of evolution. When I debated with the Brahmic theory of evolution with the very renowned research scholars on Darwin theory, where self is genes and all this kind of concepts that are derived and will continue to derive. When I talked to them, they said, no. We also talk about collective evolution. Please understand, this is not possible. If there is something linear and something fractal, that you take one state and go inside, or outside. They are orthogonal to each other, not opposite. So both cannot coexist. They will be antithesis of each other eternally, from the beginning of time to the end of time. It cannot be together. So what we learned so far, that Samkhya darshan, or Maharshi Kapil's prescription, that was pre-Vedic era, that's 6,000 7,000 BC. At that time, it was conceived very, very well, and then we went on. Hinduism could be much older, more than 11,000 BC, as far as we know, and there are many debatable concepts. However, cooperation and collective evolution, that if every single person is born with a purpose, because whole universe is alive. So the Virata Purusha is also evolving. Virata Purusha is not a static. The whole universe is evolving because the integers, how they create new kind of patterns and then slowly evolves. The whole thing is has a sequence. It cannot stop. So there is a life inside a life inside a life inside a life inside a life. At one level, me, and I have inside me there are lives and life and life and life and life. So this entire fractal architecture of life is there. So they all are evolving. And life cycle, so there is a life cycle, life death cycle. So since time is not linear, time is cyclic for us. For Hinduism, we have yugas. The concept of yuga is very, very, very fundamental. So there are cosmic cycles, and many, many, many cosmic cycles, and we are a tiny on a circle, on a tiny part, and there are millions and millions and millions of cycles above, and millions of cycles of time within below. So kalachakra, or architecture of time, or what we proposed as a polyatomic time crystal, to understand the structure of time in the universe, is fundamental to the evolution, because we are almost like a slave to that kalachakra. So you will find that even in the Hindu TV serials that they create even now, they put kalachakra there, because kalachakra has to be there. So when you understand the theory of evolution, the first is everything is connected to everything, which gave birth to the concept of quantum mechanics, that you cannot change one person. If you change one, all others will be changed in the loop. Second is with a purpose, where you have to add some new patterns, new symmetries to the Purusha. So that is your objective. So I will die, but I will add a very particular pattern to the concept of Purusha before I die. So I will learn something. 92% of me could be from my genetics. And as I said, that a man's biologically designed by nature to keep updated with the evolution of the genes that we are having, according to the evolution of the nature around us. At the same time, a woman hold the gene since she was born in the mother's womb. So she preserves everything, and we evolve. Together, we create a new life form. So preservation is necessary. Otherwise, everything will be messed up. So see how beautiful nature was while designing its evolution process. So my purpose, I have a purpose. Every single living thing and non-living thing structures together, and we can't separate it. So there is no need to kill or others. If you kill, you are destroying some patterns. You are doing the ultimate harm to the whole Brahman, because you think that he is not justified, but he is justified. It is necessary for that for the whole life form, or the higher life form, he survives and contributes his part. So apart from the first point is everything connected to everything, then everything has a purpose, so collective evolution. Then third is cosmic cycles, or yugas. The fourth concept is of course, the duality that governs the evolution. So Abrahamic theory of evolution never talk about what governs, how it will govern. So the Purusha, the mathematical architecture of Purusha, or the non-physical reality of geometric transformation, morphogenesis, and Purusha, the pattern of the integers, govern the whole evolution process. So of course there is a free will or consciousness, and that comes into effect. So that is the fifth point. So fifth point is karma, and then later the concept came for and for moksha. Moksha means you have spatiotemporal architecture, that is your body, and then many spatiotemporal architectures are created. However, you are a slave. How can you become a master? You can master by acquiring many different patterns, transforming your body, and you go to moksha, or liberation. So that is, and how that helps my higher life form, or the greater purpose. Because when you acquire new patterns and you become independent, you are able to see the entire resonance chain that is connecting the universe, and Brahman is propagated from the smallest to the largest. So this resonance chain, when you are able to move freely along this resonance chain after moksha, because you have to move non-physical world, right? In the spatio-temporal world, it is your body. You can't move with your consciousness. So when you acquire that particular property to walk along that road, that is the ultimate contribution that you can make, going beyond. Okay, so see the difference of the 7,000 or 8,000 years of culture of Abrahamic evolution, where you kill, and commit genocide, select the best and allow them to survive, do it many different ways, come up with many evil designs in the name of humanity, love, affection, democracy, whatever you call it, globalization, whatever you call it, and then you destroy those patterns, let few patterns survive. Here, we try to keep everything alive and try to bring them to liberate moksha, so that everybody can walk along the resonance chain and service to the higher life form in a much more way than a normal human can do in its life cycle. So now what we do is we come back to the origin of life, because Darwinism is connected that there is a tree of life, right? And all the life form were created at some part of the world, as if the whole world had a different types of environment, and the only possible origin of life form could be Africa. And there were some theory that it was originated in India. However, the Purusha, the concept of Purusha Prakriti duality of Samkhya darshan tells us one particular point cannot be an absolute point for the formation of life or consciousness or anything. That is selectivity. That is kind of what should I say? A certain bias towards things. Why one Africa? Why cannot life start in China? Why cannot life start in Europe? Why can't life start in North America or somewhere? So genetics has a so as to say, it has a political way, where you create the point that these genes are the purest form of genes, and then that transforms, and then you measure the shift from there. That particular shift has to be looked into, and when you go through those research papers, you can easily find where the manipulation is happening, and then they are trying to put and then whatever you want to do. For an example, there is a theory that, look, you came from that race, you came from that race, you came from that race. All this kind of racial abuse that is happening now all over the world by scientific communities carrying it out is based on a concept that gene shifts in a very particular manner in a very particular spatio-temporal locations. And the disgraceful things of it, how can you challenge it? First, go through those research papers and you will find this shift is very, very relative. And statistical probability is less than 10% that you measure this track. That's why they come up with a conclusion that all the people in the world came from one human, to establish the supremacy of Abrahamic theory that God created on 4,400 BC, Monday morning, 9:34 a.m. So all the humans has to come, because God has to create one human, Adam and Eve, and then they will produce their babies. So of course the religious objective is good. If someone wants to establish their own religion, propagate one religion, create convert all the people in the world in one religion, it's fine. It's up to them. However, when it is integrated as fundamental research output, then there is a problem, because you are teaching the kids of the world only one particular view and saying that is the absolute truth, which is antithesis of Brahmanism. So Brahmanism has also right to survive. That's the only request, only urge that there could be. So life could form at anywhere. If life forms anywhere, then Darwin's theory of trees, one stem and then all the branches coming out that you were taught in the textbook is fundamentally flawed. It is canopy. So if you follow the Brahmic way of understanding Purusha Prakriti duality, then that non-physical reality could transform similar type of life form at many different parts of the planet and many different parts. So there could be a canopy where many trees are born in a forest, and they with the root they connect, and they flourish as friends, families. They have a society, they had a society. So every single life form is going over there. So the tree, the branches, we will get back to that. I can get back to that much detail, but I do not want to. I want to end part of my video. I want to concentrate on Dasavatara, because if I don't do that, everybody will feel bad that why didn't you address that kind of thing. Of course, this Dasavatara I see in a very different way. For an example, people say that Matsyavatara, Matsya, it started the fish. You start the evolution, then you go for Baraha, then you go for half human, half lion, that is Narasimhan. So this is a triplet where you have all the living life forms. Then comes Parashurama, the Iron Age, as you know. Then Vamanas, that is dwarf. So during evolution, giants and dwarfs, and then all kind of experiments natures were carrying out. And then comes Rama, the first social reformer, many thousands years back, where he started transgender. As you know, that all the transgenders went outside Ayodhya and lived for 14 years outside Ayodhya. When Ram came back, then he came with them, and he was the first person in the world who gave equal status to the genocides as humans. And then Ardhanarishya concept, that half women, half men, or the fusion of many human, is the true nature of Shiva Parvati. So that is how Hindus started celebrating the fusion, and there was never a debate or anything. It's a women's society, Hindu society, where women is a mother. So we worship women before the age of 13 or 14. And we consider them as the we call wife as grihini, that is griha rini, and the griha means house, and rini is devotful. The house, family, is made by them. So this kind of social structure, that you should have only one wife, you cannot have more than one. So that kind of rules was first implemented by Rama, and he was the kind of first social reformer, first social structure, and then equality, and then many other radical thoughts. And he was definitely not very popular king, you can understand, and that's why he had to commit suicide. So he gave his life in Sarayu. You can go and visit the place where Rama jumped into the river and died, of course. So next part comes Krishna, Buddha, and then Kalki. So Krishna is the first person who started loving nature. So you will never find that blindness, or the rishis or munis who were talking about that every single thing has a life form. Plants has a life, and everything has a life, and then animals are also integral part of it. So the person who first started bringing all these life forms as integral part of the society was Krishna. So earlier it was collective features of the ashramas or gurukula or rishikulas, but later it comes when then Buddha, he had a fundamental contribution in the evolution. That's why he called a Hindu avatar. The reason is that he didn't want to die, so he came up with a concept of reincarnation. So reincarnation you will not find pre-Buddha era. You'll always find Jataka stories. You have life after life after life after life. You will never find it in any Hindu scriptures. The reason is simple. We have a giant life form, and there is a life, there is a life, there is a life, there is a life, there is a life. And we laid down the condition for becoming avatara. I discussed this on my first video on brahmacharya, that how, and also in the second video, why monks used to walk and different places for geomagnetic fields. I told what is the condition becoming avatara. So if life inside a life inside a life inside a life inside a life, and endless chain above and endless chain below is the true reality, there cannot be heaven, there cannot be God, or there cannot be anything. So to solve this particular problem, so what do they came up with a concept of avatara, where human becomes God. So even now you will find, if you go to Himachal Pradesh, it's a beautiful place where you find every single village have their own local God. And earlier it used to be even in Bengal, in any part of India, wherever you go, they used to convert humans into God, to going to moksha. So that is the theory of evolution of Hinduism, has been an integral part of the life society. And still, if you go and ask in the Himachal Pradesh villages that, how did this God came from? You are worshipping and then you have a temple. They say that, okay, 200, maybe 300 years back, they were born, they were great people, great deed, and then we put a temple. So we make temple for everyone. So, so this particular concept of reincarnation he brought in, and then it was a very fundamental contribution. Why? Because karma was there, and then there were moksha, liberation. So that is very, very atheistic part. So it's all mathematics, all mathematics, all mathematics. There was no entertainment or nothing that reward that you are going to get. So he introduced this concept of reward. And why Buddhism disappeared from India? Because it started ashrama concept. It transformed ashrama concept into something like a cult, that you enter into it, but you cannot go out. So that was the reason, even though he was avatara, worshipped, because of introducing the concept of reincarnation. Like Rama introduced the social reforms, one marriage, transgenders, and then who were kind of not accepted by the society. He brought them back and integrated them. Animals were integrated into the socio-economic and political structure by Krishna. And then Buddha comes and then says, okay, reincarnation has to be the triplet. So you can understand the theory of evolution in India has been going on and under debate and transformation for many, many years. And I can go on and on and on telling how those transformations happened. And then post that introduction of concept. For an example, Buddha was not alone. During the time of Buddha, there are Makkal Gosai, and then there are Mahavira. They were at the same time, and they were campaigning throughout the North India and in three different places. They never, I mean, of course, Makkal Gosai made, and most of the Bengalis were Ajivikas, their religion. And then there was Niyati. Niyati means there is a certain set of rules, that is Purusha, determined rules, and that will come into effect because we are nested part of the cosmic cycles. So the planets are moving in a different directions, and that is changing the geomagnetic fields, and geomagnetic fields will change the evolution process, and the new kind of humans will be produced who will transform your life. So that was kind of a niyati concept. And still, if you go to Bengal, even my mother often used to say that sob niyatir khela, everything is the play of niyati. That was part of ajivikas who were killed and desiccated and totally given. The first genocide in the name of religion was of course, by Samrat Asoka, and he killed many of us Bengalis. So you see that whenever you try to build an organized religion or something, and try to make some special part as supreme, as better than other, competition in the schools, we have first boy, second boy, third boy, everywhere you destroy, and you apply Abrahamic way of evolution, and you destroy, you finish off the fundamental essence of a Brahmic theory of evolution. Thank you very much.